So you want to become an audiobook narrator and you've been auditioning for book after book and not landing a contract, or you're just too scared to even try to audition because you don't know where to start, then you definitely want to watch this video all the way through, because I'm going to tell you my tips on how you can find the right audition to give yourself the best chance of landing your first audiobook narration contract. Now, if this is your first time on this channel, what's up? My name is Nikki, and in 2020, I auditioned for my very first audiobook. I nailed my first audition, and I got not one, not two, not three, but 4 and 5 contracts out of that one audition. What ended up happening was the author, she liked my voice so much that she offered me more contracts. And it didn't stop there, because I share my audiobook narration journey to other people here on this channel, and so many people became interested in it that I had to create a course. My audiobook blueprint course is my audiobook narration course that was by popular demand on this channel. So where I started as an audiobook narrator, I am now an audiobook narration coach, okay? So I actually do one-on-one coaching sessions in my audiobook narration course. So I've learned a lot about other people's problems and where they're going wrong with their auditions or frustrations that they have. So that's how I can bring this information to you. So you never know where this whole audiobook narration thing can go. With that said, the first thing that you want to keep in mind before you even audition for your first book is you have to figure out where to audition. So the place where I landed my audiobook narration contracts was ACX. So ACX is a website that's owned by Amazon. It's a free website. Now, before anybody jumps in the comments and asks me if it's available in their country, just know that I am in the United States, so all I can speak about is my experience here in the United States. So if you want to find out if ACX is available in your country, then it only takes a couple seconds to do a Google search. I can't be your human Googler, okay? So just do your due diligence and find out if it works in your country if you are outside the US. But the ACX website is owned by Amazon. So what that means is we all know Amazon owns Audible, which is the #1 platform for audiobooks. So when you audition on ACX, that means when you get a contract, your audiobooks are going to be on Audible. Not only Audible, but they will also be on iTunes as well. So your audiobook will be in multiple places, which gives you a chance to make even more money. So in order to sign up for ACX, again, it's totally free. You don't have to pay anything. And if you have an Amazon account, it makes it so much easier because, again, they're owned by Amazon. So your information is already in their system. So they have an easy way where you can link that stuff up, okay? Now, another tip that I have when it comes to finding the right audition is to use the filters. And what I mean by a filter is they have a way that you can check off the types of books that you want to read. Now, when you go on the ACX website, as soon as you go on there, you will see that there are thousands of books that are available. So you definitely want to be able to narrow those down so that you're not sitting there scrolling for hours through books that aren't even relevant to what you want to audition for. So they have options for urban accent, southern accent, British accent. The list goes on and on. So that's just one type of filter. But also, they have filters for the genre of book that you would be interested in. So if you are interested in thrillers or if you're interested in poetry, you can easily tick the button and narrow down your search to those types of books. So the more you narrow it down, the higher your chances will be of finding a book that you would actually be interested in. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't think about in the early stages of their audiobook narration journey. If you audition for a book, unless it's a children's book or a poetry book, and some poetry books will even count with this. Unless it's one of those shorter types of books, chances are you are going to be reading for hours and hours and hours, trying to get through chapter after chapter, editing your stuff. So it's really important that you pick a book that you are actually interested in. Not just because of the money that you can potentially earn from it, but keep in mind you actually want to enjoy what you do, because if you don't, you're not going to want to do it anymore, and you may end up losing your contract because you didn't complete your work in time. So you don't want that to happen. So start yourself off on the best foot and audition for books that you're genuinely interested in. Now, another tip is, if you do find a book that you like, make sure that when you audition that you don't just send in your first recording. That's a no-no. You want to record your audition multiple times. I would say at least 3 different times, and then send in which one is best to you, or ask a friend or a family member. But do not just go recording something real quick and then thinking you're going to send it in and get yourself a contract. That's very rare, especially when you have no experience, because a lot of people don't factor in when it comes to my audiobook narration journey. I do have some experience. I have a whole Bachelor of Arts degree in communications and theater, which means I have acting experience. And in addition to the whole acting side of things, I also have plenty of experience in radio as well. Now, I never had my own radio show, but I have had plenty of internships on the radio, and sometimes the DJs would bring me on the air, and I have been trained by radio personalities. I've had professors that were radio personalities. So you have to understand that my journey is not going to be the same as your journey. You can't just look at my final product and say, okay, she got this in one try and this is absolutely going to happen. So I want you to keep it realistic, and please don't minimize my experience. But also, I don't want you to get frustrated if you don't land your first audition, okay? Now, another thing that you should keep in mind is, if you do find that book that seems like the right book for you, then you definitely want to give yourself the best chance and give yourself a leg up over the competition, and make sure that you're actually prepared and that you have a microphone. Some people feel as though it's okay to record on their phones. I want to know how many of those people actually got contracts that recorded on their phones. So you just got to keep in mind, there is so much competition on a free platform such as ACX. So in order to help yourself stand out in the crowd, make sure you have the proper equipment. Now, if you want some suggestions on audiobook narration equipment, you can check out my Amazon storefront. On there, I have a dedicated audiobook narration idea list that you can check out. And on there are affordable bundles. And some of those bundles will have pretty much everything that you need, such as a microphone, a pop filter, and maybe even some other things in that bundle. And I've seen bundles for $50 and less. But also the microphone that I use, I talk about it all the time. So I know somebody's going to ask it. They ask it in every audiobook narration video, even though I do talk about it all the time on this channel. But this is my microphone, and this is called a Shure MV51 microphone, and it is so clear. The sound is just so crisp. So this is a higher priced microphone, but I do have that on my Amazon storefront. And just so you know, the stand does not come with the microphone. I do have that in the store as well. So check out my Amazon store for all of my suggested equipment. And I have notes in there as well regarding which equipment I actually use. Now, I know I just mentioned some things like a pop filter and stuff like that where you may not know what I was talking about. So if you do not know what I'm talking about, then you definitely need to check out my audiobook narration playlist here on this channel. Now, with that said, if you made it to this point in the video, do me a favor and let me know that this audiobook narration thing actually interests you. So do me a favor and drop some mics in the comments. And also keep in mind that if you are interested in my audiobook narration course, that course will be closing because I need to pay attention to my students, and I have a lot of one-on-ones that get scheduled. So you need to sign up for my course before it is closed, okay? Because I know a lot of you want to get in on it, but I can't keep it open for all that long, okay? So if you are interested in my course and my one-on-one coaching, it's all bundled together. You can click the link down below. It's called the Audiobook Blueprint, so you can sign up right there below this video. On another note, I know I mentioned some things in this video that may have you a little confused, such as what is a pop filter? If you are one of those people that need the basics of the basics when it comes to audiobook narration, then make sure you watch this video. And with that said, I'm ready to peace out in this video, and I'm gonna see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.
I might be broken down, but I'm smiling. I keep my head up. Then I turn around and